Hello. I made a video, I think 10 years ago now, and someone wrote a comment saying, I don't know, something about let's have an update or something, and I was like, wow, why not have an update? 10 years ago, just getting out of high school. I watched the video back out of curiosity to see what it was like. It's so cringe to watch yourself on a video because, like, I don't know, I make a lot of pauses in my speech and stuff, and I'm sure the logical thing to do would be to edit the video, make it so that people want to watch your video, but I just don't do that. I don't know if I can overthink it that much to edit it. Maybe one day I'll edit my videos, but whoever's watching this, just know I make a lot of pauses in my speech, and that's just the way I am, I guess. I don't really realize it until I'm on video, and then I'm like, oh wow, I pause a lot. Anyways, that was me 10 years ago, and I feel like I still pause a lot, so it's something funny that I notice I still do it even 10 years later. And on the topic of pausing as I talk, I find that a lot of times people really question how much I know, or like I feel like people always are questioning my knowledge on things because of how much I pause and how much I hesitate and how much I sound like I have no idea what I'm talking about. And I find people often are like, I can see it like in their reaction, they're like, oh, she has no clue what she's talking about, I should ask someone else. And it is one of my downfalls in my personality, I feel like, because even if I know a topic really well and I feel confident about it, and I'm like, hell yeah, I know that answer because I went to school for that, or I've been doing that work forever, I know the answer to that, and then I say it and then people don't believe me, and then I'm like, okay, well, I guess they could just find out. And then also I feel like sometimes I overcompensate, and I'll be like, yes, this is true, and then like for some reason every time I like overcompensate, I end up being wrong. So yeah, it's frustrating, but that's my life. So yeah. But on the topic of INTP, I actually don't really follow it to the point that I did when I was younger. I think there definitely is some flaws in it, and it's just because obviously you can't box every person into one of the 16 categories. It is like a broad personality type, and I do really like it, and at the time it was like mind-blowing for me, like learning about it, because I've always felt very different, felt very quiet, very just a little bit of a wallflower, you know. Like I remember watching that movie called The Wallflower, I think it's called Wallflower, and I was like, yeah, that's been me my whole life, just kind of on the wall, watching everybody do things, and like it's very exciting for me, but I'm like, not me though. I'm not the one that goes out there. I just watch from a distance, and I'm like, yeah, go you guys. You guys are doing great. But yeah. sense of how I'm doing now. I'm still very much an introvert. I still don't really like groups. I avoid talking in groups. I think I've gotten a lot better, but I can really tell and feel inside myself when I'm tired from being social, and I'll just kind of go within myself, take some time, just have some quiet time, have some time to think, reflect, and then I can feel when I'm more available to talk to people. And although it can make me I don't know, I can kind of exclude myself from things a lot just because I'm like, oh, I'd rather take some time for myself here. And so it kind of makes me less cool, I guess, like, because I don't really want to be with a big group of people. I'm very much a one-on-one person, and I find I have excellent conversations with people one-on-one way more than I ever would in a group. And I think that's totally okay. And I think other people, even if they're an extrovert, even if they're have a completely different personality than me, I think people do way better when you are talking to them one-on-one and you're listening and you're giving them your full attention, and they're able to communicate back to you their thoughts, their opinions, and have someone listen, you know, not someone that's just like, oh yeah, cool bro, that's neat, like, I don't actually really care what you're saying. But to have someone one-on-one talk to you, you know, it's a different dynamic, and if you're a good conversationalist, then you're able to take in what they're saying and then add to the conversation because you've listened to what they've said. And I think as I've gotten older, I've become a way better listener, and I've enjoyed conversation a lot more. Being okay with getting out of the group is good, and I think it's amazing to not confine yourself to what everybody else is doing. Yeah, I think it's excellent to change it up. Try to find the people that are also okay with one-on-one conversation, people who you find interesting, people who you want to ask questions to them because they're going to give interesting answers, or they're going to, you know, open up to you. Like, people like that are so much more interesting and fun to be around than people who just want to have small talk and keep conversation light. And of course there's a time and place for this, but it's just like conserving your energy for the people who you find light you up, you know. It's way better than draining yourself all day on pointless conversations. So yeah. There's a lot I've learned over 10 years, you know, like the girl in these videos, it's like I was so confused about like life, but like I was questioning so many things, and I was so interested in learning about who I was. And honestly, like all of these years, I was all over the place, you know. I date different people, and it was just because I loved learning about new people. And I find relationships, you learn a lot about people, and yeah, like go into a relationship, you learn about another person, you learn about yourself. And then also being in school, I was learning a lot in school, learning who I was, just navigating all of that. And then now I'm 29, and I'm learned a lot. I have a lot of respect for myself, and I also really enjoy the way I think. And of course I struggle. I overthink a lot. I overthink things all the time. I'm someone who can't just, like, I hope that person, like if I go into a social situation and I feel like I did something wrong, I still overthink that and think like, oh, did I say that wrong? Should I have said this? If I had said this, would they have understood what I meant more? I hope I came across right, and even to the point now, which is good, that I'm sometimes will go back in no conversation and say, hey, by the way, this is what I meant when I said that, instead of, going home and taking it home and being like, oh, I hope they didn't think that I meant this when I actually meant that. So, yeah, this is 10 years later. I think it's cool I did these videos, like, really out of character for me to do that. And I remember someone coming up to me and saying, hey, I recognize you from that video, like, no, like, it was someone I knew, and she was like, oh, like, I saw your video online, and it was just like, oh god, you saw my video online? I hope nobody else that I know sees that. And it's like, that feeling that you don't know how they perceived you when they saw that video. You don't know, you have no control over how someone perceives you, and for me that's really scary, when I don't know how someone will perceive me. And I've learned that you can't control how people will perceive you. People all grew up differently. They all grew up with different lives, and everyone will perceive everybody differently. Like, I might perceive one person a very specific way, and then someone else will think about them in a completely different way, just based on their own values, their own experiences, their own childhood, everything. So yeah, I think it's hard to let that go, but it's something I am currently trying to let go and just be more okay with. So yeah, that's my 10-year update. Maybe someone's still into INTPs. Maybe somebody out there is interested in listening to this random talk about INTPs. I love learning about myself, and I love reading the comments and seeing what other INTPs go through. Like, it's such a cool world we live in, and I love to hear other people's opinions about their life and everything. So yeah, if you watch this randomly, let me know what you're going through.